Welcome back to the Bucket Talk Baseball Podcast. My name is Christian Bond, joined as always by Jackson Kahn. Jackson, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Watched The Natural before I showed up today, so I'm pretty pumped up.
What's The Natural?
Are you kidding me?
Is it a movie? I'm not a big movie guy.
Yes, it's a baseball movie. It's like one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. It's like top 4 ever.
I don't know. My baseball movie list starts at Sandlot, and then that's pretty much it.
Okay, Sandlot's up there. Yeah, I'll give you that. But it's The Sandlot. It's Field of Dreams, Major League.
Okay.
Bull Durham. Okay, top 5 then, and The Natural. Like for sure.
Okay, 5. Well maybe we'll have to watch this after we get done.
We'll
recording.
We're gonna have to make a bracket, and we're gonna have to watch all these movies, baseball movies. And we're gonna make a bracket on the top baseball movie of all time.
I was just saying, from a personal standpoint, it's gonna be tough to knock off Sandlot.
You got to set your personal judgment aside. You got to go at these all just analytical and which one overall best baseball movie.
Why do I need what is analytical about a movie? It's subjective.
Oh, no. You got to get in. We're at a liberal arts university. Come on, you got to be analyzing everything all the time.
Why? No, I'm not playing that game. No. Oh man, this was fun. This is the fun start to today's episode. I feel like we didn't do a good enough job of explaining the title of Bucket Talk Baseball.
It's been a while since the first one, so that's when we explained the last one.
Yeah, the title comes conceptually. It's from Jackson and I, just two dudes sitting on a couple of buckets, as you would in a dugout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone at some point in their life has sat on the bucket watching a baseball game from a dugout or from down the left field line or whatever have you. Just sitting on a bucket talking about baseball.
Yep.
Pretty easy concept.
Yeah,
I mean, there wasn't much to explain, but we didn't do a good job of it. So that's what it is. I had a thing happen earlier last week. Weather was great last week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sunny, good enough for myself to be dumb enough to take the cars to the car wash. I don't like to do that.
Okay.
Because it costs money.
Yeah,
and
true.
I'm cheap.
True.
So I took the car through the car wash, and I guess there's like a seal broken because my trunk was soaked.
Oh, wow.
After the car wash thing. And in my trunk was a bobblehead that is my least favorite bobblehead I've ever owned.
Okay, yeah.
It is the Taiwan Skywalker bobblehead from a few years ago.
Really? That bad?
It's not that it's bad, but like we just talked about, I'm not a big movie guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big Taiwan Walker guy.
Ooh, hot take.
So you put the two together, and I have this bobblehead now sitting on the counter at my house, just staring at me.
It's soaking wet.
Yes, it was soaking wet. I dried it off, but it made me think, like, what are the worst type of promotional giveaway items that you think you have?
Hands down. Well, at least I think it's hands down. I got a pretty good 1-2 punch here. Number 1 is Fedora Night.
Yeah, why did you go to that?
Yankees were playing.
Okay.
First time seeing Aaron's Judge. I'd take us down the line. Me and one of my buddy Andrew. He'll probably listen to this later when I tell him about it.
Shout out to Andrew.
And so we were sitting down the line, and it was Fedora Night. So I wasn't gonna.
I can't believe you admitted to being at that giveaway.
Well, it was. I just got to see Aaron Judge. That's pretty much the only reason why it was. He's a monster, by the way. He's a monster among little boys.
You had to eat a fedora, though. Yeah, you walked away with a fedora.
Yes.
I don't know if that's fair trade.
No, it's
could have watched it on TV.
Oh,
what else? You said you had 2.
Yeah. So number 2 is Robinson Cano bobblehead night this last year, 2017 season, and it was Hispanic Heritage Night, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine. It said Marineros on the jersey on there, like not a big deal. But the problem was that it didn't even look like Cano, not even close. Like if you'd have said Erasmo Ramirez bobblehead night, it probably would have fit. But Robinson Cano, not even close.
Oh man, that is too bad. The one that I'm excited for this year is the Ben Gamel hat night with the hair coming out of the back.
Big fan.
That is great. That's
Huge
great work.
Huge fan.
That's so much better than the beard hat.
Yeah.
Like that's its obvious like sibling is the beard hat to the hair hat.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
The hair hat probably came first. I'm assuming like you see those hats that old guys will wear with it's like a visor and you have spiky hair coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean this is a definite step up in that direction and a step up from the beard because everybody wants long hair.
Yeah, the beard hat was. Have you ever worn one of those beard hats?
Yeah. So the first one they ever came out with, I showed up late. My girlfriend got one, and she was wearing it, and she liked it because it kept her face warm. But then I tried to put it on, and it was beard on top of beard, and that was no fun.
That's hardly even beneficial. Like to trade face warmth for how uncomfortable those things are.
Yeah.
That's not a fair trade in mine.
Nope. Oh, just quick. I just thought of this right now. James Paxton arm sleeve. It's a little sleeve you put on.
Do they have one?
I don't know. They should. Yeah. Now everybody has that. Everybody has the maple leaf tattoo now.
Oh, with the tattoo on it. Okay, I could get behind that maybe.
Right there.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I didn't know why the arm sleeve. I was thinking just a generic.
Oh, yeah, just
like
generic.
with his number and name on the side of it, like a basketball player would wear. That's what I was thinking of. Not the tattoo. Tattoo's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
I like the tattoo. So let's jump into that then. James Paxton, we wanted to talk about Mariners starting pitching this week. Mariners pitching in general. And the big conversation piece floating around everywhere is who's going to start on opening day for the Mariners? Is it going to be James Paxton or is it going to be Felix Hernandez? Jackson, where do you lie on the debate or the question?
So if you're going by purely skill level, should be James Paxton. But at least that's my opinion. I'm a big James Paxton fan. I don't think Felix Hernandez is going to be as good, especially if he doesn't make any changes. He doesn't throw 95, 96 anymore. He sits around 91, 92. Sometimes he's 89, and that's not your day one starter. But the problem is going to be is that the last time that Felix Hernandez didn't start game one, he just had a complete meltdown. The season prior, so 2008 was the year he did not start. He went 9-11 with a 3.45 ERA in 200 innings pitched.
So you're going to go the Seattle's biggest baseball superstar for the last 10 years is a diva and needs to start on opening day.
Yeah, because listen to this. The year prior, 14-7 with a 3.92, not like a worse ERA, but the year after, so he the year 2007 and 2009 he both started game one. 2009 he was an all-star, second in the Cy Young Award votes, and then he was on the list for MVP. 19-5, a 2.49 ERA.
Yeah, not bad. Got his head on straight after that little meltdown you talked about in 2008.
So maybe you do it and you just eat it for the year, and maybe he's better next year. But on the other hand, how old is he going to be? 33 a year from now?
Well, he's definitely on the downslope. I will give you that. Like maybe right now, James Paxton might be a better pitcher than Felix Hernandez, but I feel like I don't want to say out of respect, but out of respect, you give him the ball on game one.
Yeah.
Because after a while, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's the kind of like you said, like the pageantry of being the starting pitcher on opening day, and after that, it's whoever's turn it is.
Yeah, and I think they're playing the Indians game one, so that means it's Corey Kluber, and they're gonna. I mean, it's a tough game anyways. If you just kind of lay one up there and just take an L on day one because you're pitching Felix and it's Kluber you're facing, and Paxton just rams day two. That's, I mean,
then you start the season 1-1.
Yeah, which you would
have if you just flip it.
Yeah.
Like what? Now we're arguing about nothing.
Oh yeah,
essentially.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
back to the point is
like
you do it out of respect for the guy who's been your guy for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But and leave it at that.
I'm looking right now on the depth chart, and it was verified today, February 21st, 2018, and it has Paxton and number one in the rotation. So I don't know if that means anything. Probably doesn't. But it might be a statement.
It'll be an interesting. I don't know. What is the? I mean, this is obviously going to be a topic of conversation once it finally comes out. Like, what would be the reaction if it is James Paxton game one? Will there be some portion of people who go, "Oh, that's not right. It should be Felix"? Or
well, yeah.
I mean, what is it going to be?
95% of the people holding up K cards down the line are going to be upset about it because they don't. They just like the 20 times, 25 times a year that Felix is on the mound, and super excited. And they want him to be pitching game one, but the rest of the people in the stands that are hoping that the Mariners make a playoff run this year are like, that's fine. We want our best guy going game one. If Cervais thinks that Paxton's our number one guy, then that's the guy they should go with.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like ultimately it's a talking point, but I don't know how much it matters over 162 games.
Over the 162 games, it doesn't matter. It just all depends on if how hurt Felix Hernandez is going to be pitching game two, if that comes down to it.
Hurt meaning
emotionally.
Feelings.
Yes, absolutely emotional. He'll be fine physically waiting another day, but feelings, he might be a little fragile.
Let us know in the comment section down below on the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. Tell us who you think should start game one. Should it be James Paxton or should it be Felix Hernandez, and tell us why, too. We always want to know why, over there on the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. Some unfortunate news that came out between the last time that we talked was the Erasmo Ramirez injury. I believe it was a lat, correct?
Yeah.
That he's dealing with, and kind of felt uncomfortable for about a week, and then they just said, okay, don't throw the baseball anymore. So he's been shut down. What do you make of that type of an injury to who ultimately will be a key part of this Mariners pitching staff?
Yeah, it's a bummer that he is going to be a key part, because that's the problem. I mean, I feel bad that it's one of the starting pitchers is going to hurt, but the fact that he's going to be he might be 4, might be 5 in the rotation. At best, he should be 5 or out of the bullpen, but he's probably going to be 4 in the rotation. That hurts. That hurts the M's quite a bit. They need Andrew Moore again, or Miranda to step up. Either one of those two guys.
Yeah, when I heard about the trade last year for Erasmo Ramirez, it was Steve Cishek for Erasmo Ramirez, pretty much straight across. It was, 3 months of Cishek to the Rays for 2.5 years of Erasmo Ramirez to the Mariners. And in my head, I was like, this is the most let's stay 500 move I've ever heard of in my life. It didn't make the Mariners better. I mean, they want to complain about the pitching market. I think this is just a guy to fill a spot. He's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to be... It'll be solid. I mean, he was okay for the Mariners when he came in last year. 62 innings pitched for Seattle last season in 11 games started. A 3.92 ERA, which maybe with this offense could be enough. If you pitch to just below a 4 ERA with the offense that the Mariners should put out onto the field, it's a solid 4th or 5th best guy. I mean, I know we're kind of ragging on him a little bit, but he's going to fill a spot. And he's going to eat innings for you.
Yeah, he's just fine. That's the only problem is I'm tired of it just being just fine with the Mariners. I want some young up and comer guy to just show up and ram the ball down guys' throats.
Yeah, the problem is though that the Mariners have the worst organizational depth in baseball. Like, factually speaking, they have the worst farm system. They have the worst everything. The reason being is your big league club has to be good before your minor league club can be good, correct?
Yep.
So we might be in a period now where, and this is kind of wishful thinking or hopeful thinking, but with the offense doing what it should do over the next handful of years, I mean, they're pretty much going to be attacked for a while now. That group of position players are going to be attacked. Kind of having some stop gaps on the mound and then having time to build up some organizational depth on the mound. I mean, it's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, with all the injuries last year, all these guys had to get rushed to the bigs, so they don't have time to sit and marinate in the minors for a bit. So that's not helping either. But it's just disappointing to see that there's not really anybody waiting in the wings that are going to try to push the guys who are right now in the big leagues to be better, because if there's no real competition there and he's kind of this is what we have, it's not going to push guys to go to the next level.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, because along with the talk of all the injury problems the Mariners had last season and kind of the lack of effort, we'll call it, not even a lack of effort, just they just didn't. I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say. They didn't add any pitching.
No. They
took the guys they added last year and ran with that, which would be fine if they were better? Question mark. I mean,
I agree.
I don't know how to say that, but so a lot of the talk now is the conversation about the potential of a 6-man pitching rotation. Do you have thoughts on the 6-man rotation, Jackson, as opposed to the traditional 5-man rotation?
Well, I'm not a big fan of it, because that requires you to have 6 guys who can eat up more than 3 to 4 innings. And right now with the Mariners, I don't think they have solid guys who... Paxton can do it. Leak can do it. Erasmo does fine in the short innings. Miranda gets lit up after 3 innings, so he will need to be taken out right away. He can't go through the order twice. But the problem is Felix Hernandez is not going to like that one bit, pitching only 4 or 5 innings, getting through the lineup twice. He's going to want the ball and go as long as he can.
Isn't that a little ignorant, though, on his part? He's at the point of the career where we've talked about it already. He can't throw the ball as hard as he used to be able to. He has to be a new pitcher, and if being a new pitcher means getting through 5 or 6 innings while allowing only 2 or 3 runs and being yanked out of the game a little bit earlier than he used to be, is that selfish and, like I said, ignorant on Felix's part? Like, he has to realize he's not who he was.
He needs to, but I don't think he has. Because he needs to make changes in how he throws and how he makes an approach to every hitter and every start. But he doesn't. He still thinks he's the same guy, and he tries to strike out a bunch of guys. He needs to switch it. Like, my favorite example is CC Sabathia. Sure, he went away, and he had his personal demons that he had to deal with, and lost weight and figured that doesn't work for him, so he has to gain all that weight back, and he went through a lot of life changes. But he realized that he's not the same guy who's just blows gas by guys. He had to change up what he's doing, and he was the mainstay on that Yankees pitching rotation last year. So if Felix can realize that he's not the same guy, and he approaches each batter differently and each start differently, then maybe he'll have a better approach when it comes to like getting taken out of the game early. But I don't think he's going to be doing that.
I think he learned his lesson last year. I think it has to be safe to say.
Hope so. I'm not sold on it.
Okay.
I gotta see it.
We will have to wait and see. But talk about some of the other guys that are in that starting rotation. We talk about the 6-man rotation. Ariel Miranda gives up a home run. I mean, I might be able to hit a home run off of him. Marco Gonzalez is not good after one time through the lineup. I mean, the numbers show that he should pitch 3 innings max.
Yeah, so if we're talking with Marco Gonzalez, Ariel Miranda, and Andrew Moore, in order, 6 ERA, 5 ERA, 5 ERA, and with a combined 3 wins. Or no, Miranda pitched the whole season, so 11 wins between the 3 of them. Now, sure, there's only like a few starts for Marco and Andrew, but still, that's not.
Well, and for those guys too, that was their first year getting looks at the major league level. For Andrew Moore, it was. For Marco Gonzalez, he was coming off of Tommy John surgery, so he's working his way back from an injury. I know those aren't great reasons as to why they didn't perform very well, but getting used to anything that's new is tough.
Yeah.
So
true.
We could see a little bit of a bounce back, maybe for Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah, I could see more Marco Gonzalez than Andrew Moore. He pitched really well in his first few starts, but then these are big league hitters, and they also have guys. It's not just everybody you see on the field. They have guys tracking pitches, how often he throws, when he throws it, and so he's good for the first. He was good through the first 3 starts because nobody knew what he was. Mm-hmm. But then once everybody kind of knew what he was, then he got touched up a little bit.
There's not much that stands out from his game on the mound. I'm sure he's a great dude.
Yeah,
but throws 90, 91.
Yeah, right.
With a little bit of some breaking ball, and that's about it. I mean, he doesn't pop off the page.
Yep. Averages right now. I'm looking. His four-seam fastball averages 91 miles an hour, and I think that's a little. This is the Mariners site I'm looking at right now. That could be up.
Could be up a couple clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just it's a lot of average pitchers.
Yeah.
Very. You like to use the term 4A. A lot of 4A arms in the organization.
Yes, there are a lot of 4A.
So what
players.
What does it mean to be a 4A?
4A players. Player? So for example, Justin Smoke, 4A player. Logan Morrison, while he was a Mariner, was a 4A player. Brendan Ryan was a 4A player.
A lot of these early 2010 Mariners.
Yeah, a lot
2010s Mariners.
End of Jack Zerenzik's time there.
Meaning they can get it done at the AAA level.
AAA level, they are the best. Jesus Montero absolutely eats AAA guys up. And all of them are AAA All-Stars, but they don't. It just doesn't quite translate to the major league level. They're just a step above everybody in AAA, but they're a step below everybody in the big league level. So they're just 4A guys.
So 4A guys is what the Mariners look like they'll be working with on the mound to start games off anyway. The Wolfpack pitching idea, Jackson, something I know that you hate. This idea that you can use a couple of long inning relievers essentially to start and get you through the middle innings and then figure out the rest once you get into 7, 8, 9. Why don't you love the idea of guys just getting through the innings that they need to, just going and getting the outs when on paper they can be most effective, i.e. Marco Gonzalez, first time through the order, pretty solid pitcher.
Yeah.
So only pitching for that long.
Yeah.
So why don't you love that?
I don't like it because you have to find 6 guys that can get through 3 innings, and that's tough. It's tough enough to get 5 they can get through. We saw last year it's tough enough for a lot of these guys to get through 3 innings as it is. But then you have to have a bullpen that doesn't have a lot of injuries because they're going to be used more than normal, and they're going to come off shorter rest. Sure, they're not going to be pitching as much, but if you get caught up where somebody gets blown up and everybody pitched 2 innings in the last 2 days, and you got guys that are pretty sore and they're not used to that, I like it if it's been implemented, and these guys know what to do down the line, but I don't think you can just flip a switch and all of a sudden have a 6-man and then have guys pitch 2 innings out of the bullpen every day.
So I guess my question stems, because I think it's a great idea on paper. Like you said, no one's jumped off the deep end and tried to do it yet.
Yeah.
Jump off the deep end might be... No one's gone for it,
yeah,
essentially. So, in my head, you pair up Felix Hernandez with Ariel Miranda, and that gets you to the top of the 7th inning. Because they both get through 3, right?
Yeah.
You pair up James Paxton with Andrew Moore. Now you're into the 7th inning, top of the 7th, with the bullpen in front of you. Same thing.
Yeah.
With the next 2 guys, Marco Gonzalez and Erasmo Ramirez, for example. You could do that cycle every 3 days. There's not as much wear and tear on pitchers' arms. The starters, that is.
Yeah.
Because they're throwing bullpens in the middle of 5-day rotation anyway, are they not?
Yeah. It all depends on the guy.
But they're throwing in the middle. So shorter outings, a little bit more aggressive approach on the mound would be safe to say. Just go out there and throw hard for 3 innings and call it good, or 4 if you're really ramming.
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem is if you got to get through all these innings anyway.
Yeah.
Why do we need to why do teams need to rely on one guy to get you into the 7th inning, as opposed to 2 guys that can get you there just as efficiently, just as well?
Well, I think that you can't play like everybody's going to do their job. You have to play like if one guy's hot. Let's say Felix is playing well, and let's say you give him the 4th, and he comes and he has like a 12-pitch inning, and he's at 70 pitches. And he could go another 2 innings, but what you have written down is here comes Ariel Miranda, and he comes in and just gets absolutely blown up, and now you have to play catch up. While you could have had Felix in there for another 2 innings, and if he would have got blown up, then you could put in Ariel Miranda. It just takes down who you have that can come in, and that could put you behind in the bullpen and totally mess up your rotation.
So you're saying you can't assume that people will be the most effective that they are, even when the numbers suggest that they will be.
Yeah.
You can't trust it.
No, I mean, how many times have I know Andrew Moore didn't make it out of the second inning last season.
Well, everyone has a bad.
I mean,
but
so,
yes, I get what you're saying.
If
but
that happens once, that's going to totally mess up your rotation for the rest of the week. You're gonna have to have Repchitsky come in, pitch another 2 innings. They're gonna have Pazos come in, and he's gonna have to pitch 2 innings. And then now all of a sudden you don't have those guys who can get 7, 8, and 9. Let's say both of your starters go 3. You don't have those guys that can go 7, 8, and 9 towards the end of the week.
That doesn't seem any different than a starter having a bad night of his own, and then your bullpen's gassed for the next 4, 5, 6 days until you get an off day. That seems no different to me.
Well, that just means you'd have to bring your guy who just got blown up back on short rest to pitch again.
Well, it wouldn't be short rest because that's what the rotation is now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. No, but
it's almost a moot point in saying that if they don't, then we'd have to do something different because you're doing something different to start with. And so it's no different than... It doesn't matter who gets to the 6th inning or the 7th inning. It's just that the team gets there.
Yeah, but...
While allowing the fewest amount of runs.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying on this. But I'm just saying that if you have these bullpen guys who aren't used to it, like they're not built for that. Now your guys throwing 98, 99 or throwing 95, 96 because they have to go 2 innings every 4 days, 3 days, instead of 1 inning every 2 or 3 or 4 days, and that could be 15, 20 pitches, which is...
But the idea is not the bullpen guy. You're saying if it blows up.
I'm saying like you have to be prepared for the worst, and because if you're not prepared for the worst and the worst happens, then you're stuck. You're in a worse situation than when you started, and you're gonna have to go back to, hey, James Paxton, we're gonna need 7 out of you this time. I know you've been pitching 3 the whole season. You're not used to going 7, but we're gonna need 7 out of you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could work, and I think all it takes is one team to go for it.
Yeah, well, you'd need a special set of guys. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you need a certain set of guys, a bunch of guys who are either former starters or current starters that can do it, and a good setup and a good close guy. because you need a bunch of guys who can do long innings and not just guys who can just go one inning out of the bullpen.
Which essentially is what they have. After Felix, if healthy, Paxton, and Leak,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of guys that you want 3 innings out of and you're happy with.
Yeah.
So if we see it out of this group, I don't think I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Would you be surprised, or would you be mad?
mean,
You might be mad about it.
I might be. I'll be a little mad about it. And I mean, just also when it comes to the individual standpoint, let's say Paxton has a great career from here on out, pitching 7 innings at a time, but it's going to be cut in half. But he'll have more starts. He'll want to go to the 4th every time so he can get more wins, so he has a chance to get in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying it's a huge if here. He has to have a great career after this, but like it affects the individual guy when it comes to their individual stats on that.
So a little bit of the selfish nature of players might get in the way from that style of pitching philosophy, we'll call it, to take hold and work.
Yeah, one thing, though, that the Mariners is a big if on whether or not... I know they might go for a 6-man. I know DePoto was chatting about it, but...
More so in the middle of the year when everyone's tired.
Yeah,
we'll add
but I hear the
more.
Rangers are going the full season with a 6-man.
I think the Angels will as well.
The Angels will... Okay, so they'll...
Because of Ohtani.
Yeah.
The Angels landed Ohtani, so they'll...
Yeah, I'm still a little upset about that. But
yeah, I got heat actually. One of my buddies texted me. He listened to last week's episode. Was like when Jackson mentions Ohtani and got all bad about it. So there are people out there that are angry about it.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's upsetting the fact that they got so much money and now they have nothing to spend it on.
There's nothing.
There's nothing to do with it. There's nothing out there. What are you gonna get, an Eric Thames type of guy? Does that count?
No,
I don't think it counts.
No.
So and that's not gonna happen, and because they test for things here in the Bay.
He played last year.
I know, but I'm not saying he wasn't before to get him to that point. I mean, Justin Smoke was an incredible college player, and might be a reason why he wasn't such a good big league player. At least that's what.
Throwing bombs.
I love Justin Smoke. I'm a huge Justin Smoke fan. Bummed when he was traded, but really hoped he had a better career here. But I'm just saying, there's a possibility that.
I hear you. If you got any thoughts or comments about what the Mariners might do with their pitching rotation, go ahead, put it in the comments section below on the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. Really appreciate your input and helping us get through the conversation, getting excited for baseball season as we try and get away from this cold weather. I'm sick of it.
The snow stuck. I'm a big, I like snow in November when it's not baseball season 2 weeks away. Less than a week away when we had this last snow.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Any other thoughts you got, Jackson, about the Mariners pitching staff?
I just want them to be healthy.
Best healthy.
I'm saying my prayers every night, thanking everybody, and just the last thing I say is please let the Mariners be healthy this year. It's the last thing I say.
I got a thought, and we talked about it a little bit earlier in the week, about why they didn't necessarily add any of those free agent pitchers who are still on the market, by the way.
Yeah.
Why they didn't add any extra organizational help.
You had a good point.
And I think it stems from kind of a self-awareness when they look across the way at their division rivals and the Houston Astros and what they're going to run out onto the mound, and as a collective team as a whole, it might not have been worth the Mariners' time or money to add Jake Arrieta or Lance Lynn or whoever's, because those two players on the Mariners team still doesn't make the Mariners better than the Houston Astros.
Yeah, they needed multiple pieces, and I don't know if the owners are going to shell out that much money. They needed I think they were hoping to get in the Yu Darvish sweepstakes, but when he was off the market, they were totally out and didn't want anybody else on the market, because really out of all the guys that were for starting pitchers, Yu Darvish was the number one target, and I could see the Mariners going out and trying to get him. But Arrieta's a little up there in age, and I just don't know about the rest of the guys.
I just think they knew that, like I said, even if they add 2 of those free agents to the roster they already have, it's not better than them. And they'll never come out and say that.
Yeah.
They'll just tell the media or everyone they'll want to be perceived as happy with what they have, but they know.
Yeah.
And they're not going to say it. So that's truly what I think. I think they looked across the way and went, yeah, we don't have to. Yeah. We probably shouldn't. And then they didn't. So, I don't know. Interesting. We'll see how it plays out. I think we've hit it all.
Yeah.
All this week. Any You looking forward to anything this weekend? You got any big plans?
Not really. I mean,
I got to start
really.
crushing schoolwork.
Yeah. No,
It's been a slow start to the semester, but I feel like it's all going to come fast.
No, I've been doing my homework every night.
There you go.
Like, so things have been going good, but it just feels like it's gonna be kind of a grind of a semester.
I hear you on that one. So we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you for listening to the Bucket Talk Baseball Podcast on the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. For Jackson Kahn, my name is Christian Bond. We're out of here. See ya.